Hey guys, welcome back to the Vulture's Nest. Today I'd like to touch on a few things. First of all, why are people laughing at me and saying I was wrong on the breach video? I don't see anything in that video that's been contradicted or debunked by anything else. Maybe people are reading the title of the video and then not watching it and making a comment. I don't know. But if you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, you're going to need to tell me how. Then we can talk. In the meantime, what I'm really here to talk about is the promotional photos for Breach. In particular, the photos and actually the last concert where Clancy refused to put on his jacket when the torchbearer handed it to him. Some of you might remember in my very first video on this channel, the main point was that Clancy serves as a Christ figure in this story. Part of that was talking about the transfiguration. For those of you who don't know, the transfiguration was a part of the story of Jesus where he goes to the top of a hill with a couple of his disciples and something happens where all of a sudden his clothes are shining a bright white light and so is his face. And God speaks, and it's a pretty big deal. That's when Jesus was transfigured. He became almost a better version of himself, if that's possible for a perfect person. In either case, it was in preparation for the crucifixion, or more importantly, for the resurrection. So here we have Clancy refusing to put on clothes that he used to wear. And we're moving into a part of the journey that could very much be him putting himself in grave danger by being around the bishops. Some people think that him rejecting that part of his look or his personality is a sign that he's going to become a bishop, but I've discussed that already. In a way, there's some ways I could agree with it, but very little. And in any case, he's going in to this final battle looking different. And in this case, it might mean he's going to be looking better or stronger. One change that some have pointed out is that he doesn't have yellow tape anymore. The tape on his shoulders is just his stole turned into tape. It's his name, Clancy. And some say that looks like he's not on the Bandito side anymore. But here's something to consider. As we know, yellow is a color that the bishops can't see, and it also breaks people out of the spell that they can put people under on to make them obedient. So yellow, in a lot of ways, is the color of hope in the Bandito movement. So it made sense that Clancy wore that. But if you think about it, with Clancy being the representation of hope in this entire story, switching out the yellow tape with Clancy tape doesn't do anything to move him closer to the bishops. It actually moves him closer to the message of hope. It's an advanced version of the yellow tape. So really, I see it as a good sign. We'll see. So some might say that Clancy is overtaking his former self and making it something better. So with Clancy rejecting his jacket, we are also shown photos of him wearing this other jacket that looks a heck of a lot like a wetsuit. I think you guys know what we use wetsuits for, right? Maybe surfing, maybe swimming, maybe scuba diving. And then we have breach. What did I say about breach? Oh, it's the way to come out of the water. I'm just saying, I don't think you guys have debunked anything. Let me know if you have, because I don't want to be wrong for the rest of this era. That's pretty much all I really have to say about the current case of Clancy. I think we are moving toward a transfiguration And it could be what I said about the bishops in a previous video, that he is going to be taking on all of the bishops and becoming something better. But he has to die first. Hope has to die first. Why is that? He's coming back. And supposedly, he's coming back as a better version of himself. What do you think is a better version of hope, especially in the case of mental illness? What can make hope better, purer? I wonder if instead of Clancy just being hope in the midst of darkness or mental illness, he is going to become hope itself. Just hope. And if that happens, obviously a lot of things are going to change about him. So we'll see where things go. Be patient. Okay? Don't start laughing at me yet. The story isn't even close to over. Peace. Oh, and by the way, do you guys remember how we talked about butterflies a lot last era? Like, I made more than one video about butterflies. I don't know why I didn't say this in the main video, but think about this. Butterflies are a symbol of transformation, of coming from one thing and becoming something better and beautiful. We've been hinted at with butterflies for a while. It's happening a lot. And now we have Clancy in a time of transformation. So, that's just another piece of evidence that I wanted to share because I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. So, there you go. See you later. Hey guys, I have more to say. Okay, so we have the concert and we have pictures, right? Clancy's refusing to wear his jacket. Torchbearer's handing it to him. It reminded me a lot, visually, of something that I used to watch a lot. And that is UFC fighting, where in an octagon, they fight until somebody taps out or gets knocked out. So then, Tyler sings about being notorious in the octagon when he's singing in No Chances. Now here we are. Clancy standing one place, Torchbearer standing another, handing him his jacket. Or is it actually the case that Clancy is handing his jacket to the Torchbearer and we're being it shown in reverse? When it happens in the concert, he's messing with his stole. When he starts walking into the next part of the concert, he's covering his eyes with his stole. If we treat the stole like it's tape, it's just like him saying that he'll tape his eyes. So there's that. But in any case, I'll show you guys a side by side. It looks just like a walkout in UFC fighting. And Torchbearer is the coach. Ty Clancy is the fighter. And one of the things they do, that all of them do, is they take off a layer of what they're wearing and give it to their coach. So you might be able to say from that information that what's really happening is Clancy is getting ready to fight big time. So he's getting rid of things that are in his way so that he can do so. My next video might be an essay like in the past. But in any case, be patient and everything will be okay.